Anya Petrov never expected a proposal that evening. In truth, she hadn't expected one at all. She was still at her computer when Ethan called her upstairs, his voice echoing through the stairwell like a rehearsed announcement. "Anya? Come on, babe. I need you here for a minute." She saved her code, exhaled, and brushed flecks of solder off her hoodie as she climbed the steps. The house, Ethan's house, was an immaculate glass and steel display of success. Every surface gleamed with curated minimalism. Everything belonged to him, even the atmosphere. When she entered the living room, Ethan was standing with his back to her, framed by the wide panoramic window that overlooked the glittering city skyline. In the reflection on the glass, she could see him straighten his blazer, smooth his dark hair, and adjust something in his pocket. Then he turned. "Oh, good, there you are." He smiled, wide, bright, practiced. The charming smile he used on investors. "Took you long enough." She blinked. I was working." Yeah. He waved a dismissive hand. "Always working. But this is important." He stepped closer. She saw the little velvet box before she saw the intention. Her breath caught. "Ethan." He went down on one knee, but the gesture felt oddly formal, devoid of surprise or softness. Even his posture looked like it was meant for an audience that wasn't there. "Anya Petrov," he said, voice swelling with an actor's projection. "You've been by my side for 3 years. Loyal, supportive, steady. And I need someone like that. Someone who fits with the life I'm building. So will you marry me?" Her heart tightened. Not because he asked, but how he asked. Still, she loved him, or at least the version of him she believed existed beneath the arrogance and ambition. So she nodded, tears misting her eyes. "Yes, Ethan. Yes." His grin widened, triumphant. He slid the ring onto her finger. A stunning diamond, the kind that looked like it came with its own entourage. He stood, pulled her into a brief, photo-ready embrace, then stepped back and clapped his hands. "Perfect. Great. That'll look fantastic on the announcement post." Announcement. "Obviously, we need to post tonight. Timing is everything." He grabbed his phone. "Hold on, I need to text Chloe. She can get a photographer here in..." "Chloe." Anya frowned. "She knows people. Don't worry about it." He typed rapidly, already half turned away from her. "Anyway, congrats. You're the future Mrs. Quinn." He moved toward the kitchen, grabbing a pre-opened bottle of champagne. As she followed, soaking in the surreal moment, he popped the cork and poured them each half a glass. "You're unusually quiet," he said. "I'm taking it in," she murmured. He sipped his champagne. "Just don't overthink it. This is a good move for both of us. A good move, like a merger." She smiled faintly, trying to ignore the chill forming in her chest. "Ethan," she said gently, "I'm happy. Really. Just surprised." He leaned against the marble counter, examining something on his smartwatch. "Well, I've been planning this for months. A fiancé helps my public image. Investors like stability, you know." Her smile faltered. "You propose to improve your image?" He looked up, finally, confused by her confusion. "Yeah? I mean, that's part of it. But don't make it weird." He glanced at her ring and nodded with satisfaction. "You look great with it. Very polished." She felt something crack quietly inside her. He didn't notice. He had already gone back to scrolling through notifications. She touched the ring, its surface cold and flawless, and wondered why the moment she had dreamed of felt like a transaction. But she said nothing. Not yet. For the next week, Ethan was consumed with preparations for the announcement gala of his newest hardware project. A sleek, futuristic device that he claimed would disrupt the entire tech landscape. Disruption to Ethan was a lifestyle. One afternoon, Anya found him pacing in his office, surrounded by whiteboards filled with half-finished diagrams. He was pulling at his hair in frustration. "This is impossible," he muttered. I swear the components we ordered were supposed to cover the prototype run. But the budget… Where the hell is the money going? Anya set down the tray of coffee she brought him. Maybe we should review the accounts. No, I have it handled. He waved her off. But timing is tight. Investors expect a polished launch. And if the hardware isn't ready… He stopped. He looked at her the way one might look at a useful tool. Actually, Anya, you still have those savings from your freelance projects, right? Her stomach twisted. Some of it, yes. Why? Could you cover, temporarily, the manufacturing gap? Only until after the launch. Once funding renews, I'll transfer it back. She hesitated. That money wasn't just savings. It was her buffer, her chance to build something independently, her freedom. But Ethan's eyes were pleading in a way she rarely saw. Vulnerable. I really need this, he said. If I don't pull this off, I'm screwed. We're screwed. We. She swallowed. Okay, she said softly. I'll transfer it. In the next hours, she made the painful wire transfer. Nearly her entire savings erased with a click. Ethan glanced at his phone when he got the notification. Awesome, he said. You're amazing. Seriously, I knew I could count on you. He kissed her cheek absently and went straight back to work. No hug. No thank you. Just business. Later that night, Anya sat alone at her desk. Her code editor glowed, faintly, illuminating her tired eyes. She stared at the numbers on her bank app, now nearly zero, and pressed a trembling hand to her chest. She had told Ethan she didn't mind, that she trusted him, but trust wasn't supposed to feel like free-falling. 2 weeks after the proposal, Ethan announced, with great excitement, that he had met someone important. Her name is Chloe Anders, he said, smoothing his hair back. She's an influencer. Huge following. Could be great brand exposure for the launch. Anya raised a brow. Exposure for a hardware product. He scoffed. You don't get marketing. It's about presence, awareness. Chloe knows everyone worth knowing. The first time Anya met Chloe was accidental. She came home early one afternoon and heard laughter. Ethan's deep chuckle and a woman's high, melodic giggle coming from the living room. She paused at the doorway. Ethan sat on the couch beside a stunning blonde in a tight, shimmering dress. They were reviewing photos on Chloe's phone. Chloe looked up first. Her smile froze as her eyes traveled over Anya's plain hoodie and messy bun. Oh, she said. Hi. You must be the assistant. Anya blinked. I'm… My fiancé, Ethan finished without looking embarrassed. Anya, this is Chloe. She's helping promote the launch. Chloe's eyes widened. Fiancé? Oh wow. I didn't know you were taken. Her tone suggested disbelief that Ethan would choose someone like Anya. Anya forced a polite smile. Nice to meet you. Chloe glanced at Ethan, smirking. She's cute. Ethan laughed. Yeah, she tries. Anya's face heated. She stood still, the comment echoing. Cute. She tries. Ethan had said similar things before. Light, teasing jabs that she told herself were jokes. But Chloe's presence sharpened them, made them sting. As Anya turned to leave, she heard Chloe whisper, You didn't tell me she was so plain. Ethan murmured something back. Anya didn't want to know what. She retreated downstairs to her basement workspace, closing the door softly behind her. Only then did she let her breath shake. She sat before her computer, tears gathering but not falling. Her monitors lit up. Lines of code reflected in her eyes like constellations. Cute, she whispered bitterly. I try. She pressed her hands to the keyboard. She wouldn't be anyone's joke. She wouldn't be underestimated forever. And so that night, A-Tech was born. The basement became her sanctuary. A low ceiling, exposed beams, mismatched furniture, crates of hardware components. All the imperfections Ethan would never tolerate upstairs made it feel like home. Here, Anya could breathe, think, build. Her workstation was a patchwork of her life. Old monitors, second-hand servers, a whiteboard crowded with equations, diagrams, interfaces, and half-coded modules. She worked late into the nights, headphones in, her mind alive with possibility. A-Tech was not just a software project. It was a self-evolving system, an adaptive architecture capable of integrating with any platform or device, optimizing itself in real time. It wasn't just ahead of the industry curve. It leapt past it, rewriting the curve entirely. But no one knew, not even Ethan. One night, around 2 a.m., a soft knock sounded at the basement door. It opened a crack. Anya. Ethan's voice. Groggy. Annoyed. She paused her typing. Yeah. He descended the stairs, squinting against the glow of her screens. What are you doing? He asked. You've been down here for hours. Again. I'm working. He made a face. On that hobby project. Her jaw tightened. It's not a hobby. Come on. He looked around the basement with distaste. You're wasting your time. At least help with my launch if you want to code something useful. I am helping, she reminded him. I covered your debts. He blinked. Right. And I appreciate that. But I need actual technical support too, not whatever this is. She closed her laptop slowly. This is important to me, she said softly. He sighed, running a hand through his hair in frustration. Anya, listen. You're sweet, really, and talented, at least in your lane. But you have to understand your limits. Not everyone is cut out to do what I do. Her chest constricted. My lane. Yeah. Stay in your comfort zone. Don't stress yourself. She stared at him, illuminated by the pale blue glow of her monitors, and felt something shift in her heart. I'm not staying in a lane you draw for me, she whispered. He didn't hear her. He had already turned back toward the stairs. Just come upstairs when you're done playing. When he was gone, she exhaled slowly through her nose, her hands trembling, not from sadness but resolve. She turned back to her keyboard. Her fingers flew. A-Tech grew, and with every line of code, she broke free a little more. The dinner was supposed to be casual, just a small gathering with industry colleagues at the upscale, rooftop restaurant Ethan favored. Anya attended mostly because Ethan insisted. He said the presence of his fiancé would help sell the image. He didn't specify what image she was selling. The guests included up-and-coming tech founders, minor celebrities, and inevitably Chloe, who slid into the seat beside Ethan with familiarity that made Anya's stomach twist. Anya sat across from them, feeling like a placeholder. For the first hour, she remained quiet while Ethan dazzled the table with stories of his brilliance and his upcoming launch. He spoke with sweeping confidence, gesturing dramatically, exaggerating every triumph. So anyway, he said, leaning back arrogantly, I've been working non-stop. Meanwhile, Anya's been busy with her little side projects. Right, babe? He flashed her a grin that didn't reach his eyes. The table chuckled. Anya forced a small smile. Yes, I've been coding a bit. Chloe smirked. Ah, that's adorable. Someone else chimed in. What are you making? Another game app. Anya opened her mouth. Actually, Ethan cut her off, shaking his head theatrically. Don't tire her with tech talk. She's got passion, but, it's more of a hobby. Laughter erupted. Heat crawled up Anya's neck. She looked at Ethan, at the casual cruelty in his eyes, and felt a tidal wave of humiliation. She tried again. I'm working on something. Ethan put a hand on her shoulder, not affectionately but paternalistically, as if guiding her to silence. Don't worry about it, babe, he said loudly. Leave the real innovation to the experts. Chloe giggled. Imagine Anya coding a revolution. More laughter. The final blow came when Ethan lifted his glass and said, Everyone has their strengths. Anya's is keeping me grounded and making sure I don't burn toast. The table roared. Anya stared at him, really looked at him. She saw someone who would never see her. who loved the idea of her, not her mind, who believed she was small because he needed her to be small. Her humiliation simmered into something sharper. Ethan noticed her silence and rolled his eyes. "Come on, babe. Don't pout. We're just having fun." She stood suddenly. The table quieted. "Excuse me," she whispered, voice tight. "I need a moment." Without waiting for a reply, she walked toward the rooftop's edge, the cool night air biting her flushed cheeks. She gripped the railing, inhaling deeply as the city lights below blurred through her stinging eyes. Behind her, she heard footsteps. Chloe's voice floated over. "Tough crowd, huh?" Anya didn't answer. Chloe leaned beside her, arms crossed. "Don't take it personally. Ethan's a star. People like us are orbit." "People like us," Anya echoed. Chloe shrugged. "You're sweet. But he needs someone who enhances him. Presence matters. Image matters." She blew a strand of hair dramatically. "You're not really built for that world." Anya turned her head, meeting Chloe's smirk. For the first time, she didn't feel small. She felt clear. "I'm not built for his world," Anya said softly. "But I'm building my own." Chloe blinked. Anya walked past her without looking back. When she sat back down at the table, Ethan gave her a small, irritated glare. "Drama." She looked at her plate, then at him. "No," she said gently. "I'm just thinking." He smirked. "Don't hurt yourself." A few people chuckled again, but Anya didn't flinch this time. Her mind wasn't on Ethan anymore. It was on A-Tech, on the growing list of mentors she would reach out to, on the investors she would quietly meet, on the future she would build, not beside him but beyond him. She smiled inwardly, the humiliation fading into a new, burning resolve. Ethan didn't notice. He was too busy performing. But one day, she thought, he will notice. He will notice everything. And that day would be the beginning of the end of his arrogance. There were two sides to the tech world. The loud, glossy surface, the launches, the galas, the influencer photo shoots. And the quiet heart, the meetups in cramped co-working spaces, midnight hackathons, underground seminars where the real breakthroughs were discussed behind closed doors. Ethan lived exclusively in the first world. Anya belonged to the second. And now, she was stepping deeper into it. The first seminar she attended was in an old converted warehouse. Walls draped with old circuit boards, rows of mismatched folding chairs, and the soft hum of servers in the background. She arrived early, hair pulled back, laptop bag slung over her shoulder, her heart pounding. She had registered under her maiden name, Anya Petrov. It felt like introducing herself to a stranger she was becoming. When she approached the check-in desk, a thin, wiry man with thick glasses looked up. "Name?" he asked. "Anya Petrov." He skimmed the list, found the name, and gave a faint nod. "Room B, 4th row. Big night. Dr. Nyla Rosen is speaking." Anya's breath caught. Dr. Rosen, one of the world's leading experts in adaptive architecture. Her idol. Her inspiration for A-Tech. As she entered the seminar room, she saw seasoned engineers, founders, students, and venture scouts. People who weren't here to be seen, they were here to learn. Anya took her seat, opening her notebook, trying to quell the fluttering in her chest. Dr. Rosen took the stage with quiet confidence, a tall woman with steel-gray curls, sharp eyes, and a presence that commanded silence without effort. "Tonight," she began, "we talk about the future, not of devices, but of self-evolving systems." Anya leaned in, every word sinking into her like oxygen. Halfway through, Dr. Rosen posed a question to the room. "Who here believes adaptive architecture can become stable enough for consumer-level integration?" The room murmured with uncertainty. Anya raised her hand. Dr. Rosen looked at her. "Yes." Anya swallowed. I believe it's possible. If the architecture uses a hybrid recursive network instead of a multi-tiered one, a system that rewrites, not just adapts, its optimization pathways." A few heads turned. Dr. Rosen smiled slowly. Exactly, she said. And what is your name? Anya. Anya Petrov. Are you currently working with any labs or teams? No, Anya said. Just working. Dr. Rosen tilted her head. Come see me after the seminar. Anya stared, stunned. After the talk ended, she approached the stage cautiously. Dr. Rosen greeted her warmly. You think like a researcher, she said, but your vocabulary indicates real-world engineering. What are you building, Anya? Anya hesitated. She didn't want to name a tech, not yet. I'm testing a new architecture, she said carefully. Can I see it sometime? Anya inhaled sharply. Yes, I'd love that. Dr. Rosen handed her a card. Email me. And keep your mind hungry. As Anya left the warehouse, she felt light, lifted. Someone believed in her. Not just someone, the Dr. Rosen. She stepped into the cold night air, smiling to herself. Above her, the city flickered like circuitry. She didn't notice the shift happening inside her, that she was slowly becoming the version of herself Ethan had never cared to see. 2 months after the public humiliation dinner, A-Tech was no longer just a project. It was a force. Anya had reworked its architecture, refined its algorithms, and created a working, intelligent prototype. Dr. Rosen had reviewed it privately and said only one thing. You need to scale this, now. Which meant one thing. Funding. But she refused to let Ethan know. On a rainy Wednesday morning, Anya walked into the glass headquarters of Serrano Capital, one of the most selective venture capital firms in the world. She had arranged the meeting under her maiden name. The receptionist scanned her appointment. You're meeting with Mr. Serrano directly? Anya nodded, hands sweaty inside her jacket pockets. She was escorted to a private meeting room so luxurious she felt like she was stepping onto a movie set. A few minutes later, the door opened. Gabriel Serrano entered. Mid-40s. Sharp features. Eyes like polished steel. He moved like someone who owned the ground he walked on. Ms. Petrov, he said, offering a hand. Dr. Rosen speaks highly of you. Anya blinked. She referred me? She doesn't usually do that, he said, taking a seat. So let's hear what impressed her. Anya plugged her laptop into the screen. She demonstrated A-Tech. Its interface shifted fluidly, responding to user input faster than any software Mr. Serrano had ever seen. It reorganized itself intuitively, adapting to its own analytics. When she finished, the room was silent. Mr. Serrano looked at her for a long moment. How many people know you built this? Just Dr. Rosen. And your employer? Anya froze. I don't have an employer. Good, he said. Keep it that way. If someone claims this before you launch it, you lose everything. Her heart thumped hard. I want to invest, he said. A-Tech is unlike anything I've seen. But my involvement comes with conditions. What conditions? 1. I remain anonymous until launch. 2. You retain complete creative control. 3. No one outside your circle must know about A-Tech until we're ready. Anya nodded slowly, overwhelmed. And 4, he added with a faint smile. If anyone underestimates you, let them. It makes the reveal more satisfying. Her eyes stung with an emotion she didn't expect. Validation so sudden it felt like sunlight after years underground. I accept, she whispered. He extended his hand. Then welcome to Serrano Capital, Ms. Petrov. As they shook, Anya felt her future lock into place. Her first check was more money than she had ever seen in her life. She walked out of the office in a daze, stepping into the rain as if awakening from a dream. She didn't know it then, but Serrano Capital's involvement would ignite a chain reaction. A-Tech wasn't a whisper in a basement anymore. It was a rising storm. While Anya was quietly, meticulously building a technological empire, Ethan was doing the exact opposite. He was inflating a balloon made of ego and hope. Biggest launch in the city, he told every person within earshot. People won't know what hit them. This hardware is going to put Quintech on the map. He spent hours choosing the lighting, the catering, the influencers, the press coverage. He spoke to Anya only when he needed her to sign something or pose for a photo. He never asked why she seemed busier, why she came home later, why she closed her laptop instantly when he walked into a room. One night, he waltzed into the kitchen while Anya reheated leftovers. "You're free Saturday night, right?" he asked. "I think so. Why?" "I need you to help Chloe pick an outfit." Anya's head lifted slowly. "You need me to help your date pick a dress?" Ethan scoffed. "She's not my date. She's my image partner. But you know fashion better than she does." Anya stared at him, speechless. Ethan, I don't think." "You're not going to make this a thing," he said firmly. "Chloe's been working overtime helping me. The least you can do is help her look right for the cameras. She'll be right beside me on the stage." Her stomach twisted. Chloe, beside him, on the stage. And where will I be? Anya asked quietly. Ethan looked at her blankly. "Where you always are, supporting from the side." She smiled tightly. "Right." He didn't notice her tone or didn't care. Later that night, Anya worked in the basement until dawn, ATEC glowing across her monitors like a living heartbeat. "I won't be on the side forever," she whispered to herself. The code on her screen seemed to pulse in agreement. If Ethan's ego was impressive, Chloe's was a natural phenomenon. She strutted into the penthouse like she owned the air. She evaluated fabrics like a queen choosing her gown for coronation. She made Ethan carry every shopping bag, 15 in total, while she chirped dramatically. "This event is everything, Ethan. People will be watching. I need a dress that says I belong on that stage." Anya, who had reluctantly agreed to join them, mostly to avoid Ethan complaining later, stood quietly among the racks of silk and sequins. Chloe emerged in a floor-length gold gown that sparkled like pyrite. "What do we think?" she asked, posing dramatically. Ethan grinned. "You look like a star." Chloe preened. Then she looked at Anya. "Well, it's very bright," Anya said softly. Chloe gasped. "You mean it's too bold?" "No, it's just." "She's jealous," Ethan said lightly, not even looking at Anya. "She doesn't get the influencer world. Ignore her. You're stunning." Anya's lips parted. Jealous? Jealous of Chloe's superficial charm? Jealous of her place beside Ethan? No, never. But she stayed silent because her power was still in the shadows, still forming, still building. As Chloe took mirror selfies, Ethan checked menus for the launch catering. Anya slipped away to a quiet corner of the boutique. Her phone buzzed. A message from Serrano. "Prototype looks flawless. Ready for stage test?" Her pulse quickened. Another message from Dr. Rosen followed. "Your work is extraordinary, Anya. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." She stared at the messages and felt her strength return. Chloe's voice screeched from the dressing room. "Ethan! Ethan! Come zip me up." Anya slipped her phone into her pocket. The world Ethan inhabited was shallow, loud, performative. The world she was building? Quiet, powerful, real. The night Anya bought the emerald jumpsuit, she didn't intend to. She entered the boutique only to browse, to imagine a future where she walked into rooms without shrinking. But then she saw it, a deep emerald silk jumpsuit, sleek, sculpted, understated yet commanding. It wasn't loud like Chloe's gold dress. It was powerful. The attendant approached her with a gentle smile. "Would you like to try it?" Anya hesitated, brushing her fingers over the fabric. Why not? Minutes later, she was staring at herself in the mirror. The jumpsuit hugged her frame elegantly, accentuating her posture, her eyes, her quiet confidence. Her hair fell in soft waves around her shoulders. She looked, not different, but true to the woman she had been growing into. The woman A-Tech was shaping her to be. The woman Ethan had refused to see. When she stepped out of the dressing room, 2 attendants gasped. "That color is made for you," one whispered. "You look like someone important," said the other. Anya's throat tightened. She was someone important. Maybe not to Ethan. Not yet. But the world would know soon. She bought the jumpsuit. When she returned home, carrying the discreet garment bag, Ethan barely glanced up. "What's that?" he asked. "Something for your launch," she said. He smirked. "Don't overdress. You don't want people thinking you're trying to compete with Chloe." Anya smiled softly. "Oh, I won't compete," she said. "I don't have to." He didn't understand what she meant. He wouldn't until it was too late. The entrance hall glowed gold. Every spotlight pointed toward Ethan as if the world itself had been waiting for him. Cameras clicked in frantic bursts. A massive banner reading "Ethan Vale Innovates the Future" hung above the velvet carpet path. Ethan stepped out of the limousine with Chloe linked tightly around his arm. She made sure her diamond-encrusted gown shimmered with every step, waving like she was royalty. Ethan basked in the noise, absorbing every flash, every gasp. "Smile wider," Chloe whispered, leaning into him. "Tonight's ours." He did. After all, this launch was supposed to crown him as the rising star of tech. Unstoppable, brilliant, adored. And Chloe? She was his accessory of success. On the carpet, he announced loudly to the press, "My better half, Chloe Hart. The woman who inspires my brightest ideas." The cameras ate it up. Inside the venue, however, quiet, unnoticed, Anya stepped through the side doors, and the universe held its breath. Ethan spotted movement from the corner of his eye as he made his way toward the center hall. He paused. There, by a set of tall mirrors, stood Anya. Not meek, not small, not in faded jeans or her worn hoodie. Instead, she wore an emerald silk jumpsuit that skimmed her figure effortlessly, giving her an aura of calm power. Her hair was pinned in soft waves, and her posture radiated a confidence he had never seen. For a second, just a blink, Ethan's chest tightened. But then he scoffed. Of course she came. Probably to plead for attention, or to make some embarrassing scene about their engagement. He couldn't deal with her tonight. Chloe noticed his brief distraction. "Is that your secretary?" Ethan didn't bother correcting her. Instead, he murmured, "Someone who means nothing to me anymore." He gave Anya a cold, dismissive glance, one that said, "You don't belong here." Then he turned away, pulling Chloe along as Anya stood silently, watching him walk toward the stage as if he were walking straight into fate. The audience buzzed as Ethan strode across the stage, basking in the applause. A massive holographic animation of his prototype spiraled behind him, reflecting across 1,000 glowing screens. "Tonight," Ethan began confidently, "marks the birth of a revolution, a device that will redefine how we—" He stopped, because the CEO of Vantage Corporation, Elliot Crane himself, was striding onto the stage with a rigid, uncomfortable smile. That wasn't planned. No one interrupted Ethan Vale. "Ah, Elliot." Ethan laughed nervously. "You want to say a few words?" The CEO didn't laugh back. He stepped to the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a critical update regarding tonight's showcase." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Ethan felt a chill slip under his collar. Elliot Crane folded his hands and inhaled deeply before speaking. "During final evaluations, we discovered that the original design presented by Vale Tech had unresolved structural and security issues. Issues severe enough to jeopardize the product's viability." The entire hall erupted in gasps. Ethan turned pale. Elliot continued, "Fortunately, an outside party stepped in at the last possible hour. A brilliant mind who supplied a perfected system and acquired the intellectual property rights necessary to salvage the entire launch." Chloe's jaw dropped. Ethan's breath hitched. "What are you talking about?" Ethan whispered, grabbing Elliot's arm. But Elliot gently shook him off. The company is now under majority ownership of the ATech Foundation, Elliot announced. And we owe tonight's success to its founder. Lights dimmed. A single spotlight shifted to the back of the room. Footsteps echoed. And then, please welcome the owner and visionary behind ATech. Ethan felt the blood drain from his face. Anya Petrov. The room erupted, not with applause but with disbelief. Phones were raised. Cameras flashed. Journalists scrambled like a kicked anthill. Anya walked with slow, steady confidence toward the stage, her emerald jumpsuit shimmering like polished stone. Every step was a revelation. Every breath she took reclaimed something she had lost. Ethan stared, frozen. Chloe clutched his arm hard enough to bruise. Anya stopped just a few feet from him. Her eyes met his, calm, composed, unreadable. Elliot bowed his head, respectfully. Ms. Petrov, the stage is yours. Anya accepted the microphone and turned toward the audience. Thank you, she said, her voice smooth and unwavering. ATech was built from the belief that innovation thrives not in ego but in integrity. Ethan flinched. And tonight, she continued, I'm honored to support the future on my own terms. Chloe whispered, horrified, You didn't tell me she worked in tech. Ethan whispered back, voice cracking, she didn't. I mean, I thought she didn't. The truth settled over him like ice water. He had ignored her. He had mocked her. He had underestimated her brilliance. And now, she owned him. The final name displayed in gleaming letters across the grand screen. Anya Petrov, owner, ATech. And Ethan Vale's world came crashing down in front of all of them. The applause had barely finished echoing when Anya handed her microphone to the event staff and turned toward Ethan. The cameras followed her like iron filings to a magnet. She approached him calmly, her expression unreadable. Ethan's chest tightened. Anya, we need to talk, he said, trying to smile. It's a misunderstanding. We can fix. She held up a hand. From her emerald clutch, she removed a pristine white envelope and placed it gently into his shaking fingers. Ethan Vale, she said, her voice steady as polished steel. This is your formal separation agreement. The debts? The contracts? The unpaid liabilities you hid from investors? They're all legally assigned to your name now. Ethan felt his world tilt. What? He whispered hoarsely. You can't be serious. Anya gave him the slightest, saddest smile. You once said I wasn't capable of understanding real business. I simply proved you wrong. The audience gasped. Phones recorded every word. Then Anya turned her back on him. The greatest insult she could ever deliver. Chloe was trembling with fury, not for Ethan, but for herself. What does this mean? She hissed, clutching her expensive designer gown. Are you broke? Ethan, tell me you aren't broke. Ethan didn't answer. The panic on his face told her everything. Oh no. She took a horrified step back. Oh no. I didn't sign up for this. Cameras followed her as she spiraled into a very public meltdown. You used me, she shrieked at him. You told me you were the next Steve Jobs. You said we'd be famous. Influencer power couple of the year. And now I'm attached to a nobody with debt. Someone tried to calm her down, but she swatted them away, snagging her gown and ripping an entire seam open. The crowd watched in fascinated silence as Chloe stomped out of the venue in her torn dress, mascara streaking, screaming about refunds and wasted youth. It was over, and Ethan had never looked smaller. The hall slowly emptied, but Ethan remained on the stage, staring blankly at the bright screen flashing ATech. His name wasn't anywhere on it. His phone buzzed. His investors, his board, his PR manager, all demanding explanations he didn't have. He sank into one of the front row seats, numb. When Anya gave her closing statement, he listened with a hollow chest. Success is not built on charm, or pride, or image. It is built on perseverance, respect, and truth. The audience hung on her every word. She never looked at him again. When the event ended, security politely asked Ethan to leave. The venue now belonged to Ateka's team. He walked out alone, unnoticed, invisible. For the first time in his life, Ethan Vale had no spotlight. Months passed. Atek skyrocketed. First in the industry news, then across mainstream media. Anya Petrov became the name every tech magazine wanted. Every podcast requested, every investor chased. Unlike Ethan, she didn't brag. She didn't posture. She simply worked, calm, quietly brilliant, and unstoppable. One morning, while reviewing product designs at her glass-walled office, she heard a gentle knock. Marcus Hale, kind, admired, steady, stepped inside. A seasoned entrepreneur with warm eyes and no ego. "I brought you coffee," he said with a smile. "Thought you might need it." Anya felt something she hadn't in years. Ease, safety, mutual respect. They talked for hours about innovation, values, life. Marcus listened, really listened, and admired her not for her success, but for her mind. And as the evening sun reflected off the ATEC building, she realized this was her new beginning. Not loud, not dramatic, just right. Far across the city, Ethan walked into his penthouse condo, once his pride, now his prison. No lights turned on automatically. No voices greeted him. No Chloe. No fans. No company. Just silence. He moved through the massive living room and noticed something on the coffee table. A small velvet box. He opened it. Inside lay the engagement ring. The one Anya left behind without a word. He sat down heavily, the box trembling in his hands. Images flashed through his mind. Her in the basement, coding alone. Her tired eyes. Her quiet loyalty. Her unappreciated genius. Her walking away stronger than he ever imagined. A silent truth settled like dust around him. He didn't just lose his company. He didn't just lose his image. He didn't just lose the launch. He lost the only person who ever believed in him. And now all that remained was the echo of what he threw away. Ethan Vale stared at the ring until the sun disappeared behind the skyline. Alone in the empty mansion of his own making. The end.